Hello, everybody, and welcome to Truth Talks. We are brought to you by Gay Light Television and, of course, the GLCC, which is the Gay and Lesbian Community Center here in Pittsburgh. If you are tuning in for the first time, thank you for joining us. And if you're tuning back in because you're a weekly viewer, thanks for coming back. My name is Lain.
I'm Lyndsey.
So how's it going?
It's going, you know, the usual. Nothing too exciting, just living.
We're boring.
Yeah.
So we start off the show every week with a rundown of events that are happening at the GLCC, and if we go through it too fast or you don't quite catch something, you can always call the GLCC, and that's 412-422-0114, or you can email them at info@glccpgh.org. We're going to run these down, and just so you know, everything that we list is located at 210 Grant Street, and that is downtown. It's right near the FedEx Kinko's and the First Street exit for the T. There's a bunch of buses down there, and you can always walk. It's right near the Boulevard of the Allies, so it's really easy to get to. It's very centralized. So to start out with, the first Saturday is our Spectrum 18 Plus party, and that is from 6 to 9 p.m. You can come down. There's usually some refreshments, dancing, other activities. You can just hang out with folks. The fourth Saturday is game night, and that is from 6 to 9 p.m. as well. All kinds of weird games, things you may not have, ever played before, some things that you have. Apples to Apples still hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't.
No.
We're going to do that. It's going to happen at some point within the next month.
Yeah, but Tim Hernandez usually starts that up, and it's a really, really fun night. Sometimes it goes past 9. It just depends on what's going on. The second Sunday is men's night, which is kind of an afternoon thing because it's 1 to 4, but that is a 21 plus thing, and you can come in there and socialize with other guys. It's not, if you're not totally into the bar scene, you can just come down there and talk and do that kind of thing.
Bro things.
The bro thing. And first and third Sunday is the women's equivalent of that. That's women's night. That's 21 plus from 1 to 4. Again, if you're not into the bar scene, you just want to kind of hang out and talk.
I have a question about men's night.
Go ahead.
So is there like a boy dance party at men's night?
Boy dance party. I don't know. I have no idea.
OMG. Okay, that's all.
A good time.
Just thought I'd ask. I'm not allowed at men's night.
So the third Sunday is potluck and a movie night, and that is from 6 to 9, and that movie changes obviously each month, and if you are interested in that, you can always go onto the website, glccpgh.org, and check out what movies they have. They're usually family-oriented, so you can bring anybody, bring your favorite dish, and just kind of hang out and watch some movies. And, of course, these are all free, unless we say otherwise, but we always accept donations down there, and I think it's a great resource.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And in addition to all of those things, Monday kind of starts off a little bit like of some more educational things, if you could, or what have you. Nonetheless, every Monday is belly dancing with Pixie. That's $10 per class. That's from 7 to 9 p.m. So if you're trying to do the belly dancing thing, if you've been doing the belly dancing thing, if you do it at home but you're not really sure if you're doing it right, kind of a thing, Monday is 7 to 9 with Pixie. It's $10, which is actually incredibly inexpensive for belly dancing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've Googled that, but it's a decent amount. Anyway, I'm moving on. Tuesdays and Friday, every Tuesday and Friday is Real Time with Lain through Prasad, and that's if you're under 24 years of age, and that's 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And like I said, Tuesdays and Fridays, Real Time. It's, just like talking if you need someone to talk to about some stuff.
Help with your homework?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because I know that all through high school, I didn't have any help with my homework except for the people I copied off of. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, every Tuesday and Thursday, is Prasad Safe Space at 4, and it's also on Fridays at 5. Safe Space is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a safe place to go, hang out, if you need resources for what have you. Well, resources are always available at the GLCC, so.
Absolutely.
Every Wednesday is Say Yes drop-in for homeless youth. That's if you're under 25, and that is from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. So that is definitely the place to go for resources, 100%, especially if you're under 25, housing, getting a job. GED, that's super important. I don't know if anybody's talked to an adult there. It's incredibly important to have at least equivalent diploma. So, but anything you need, GLCC, Wednesdays, every Wednesday, noon to 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then also on Wednesdays, or every other Wednesday, you just have to check the calendar, is Yoga with Nick, and that's from 5:30 to 6:30. And this is on, check the calendar.
I didn't edit well. That was mine.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Everybody can check the calendar. No big deal. But there is a free clinic for regular health care and for trans care, which I know is incredibly expensive. But free clinic at the GLCC, and that's for non-insured or underinsured people. So if you have awesome insurance, I mean, you should probably just go to a regular doctor. But then again, some people have regular insurance, and it's just not very good.
Yeah.
So no insurance or underinsured. But it's from 12 to 3. On Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. That didn't specify.
So one more thing. Tomorrow from 6 to 9, there is a Halloween party, and that's going to be from 6 to 9. There's going to be refreshments. That's under 25. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be decorated by yours truly. So I believe it's a Rocky Horror Picture Show theme this year.
It is. It is.
Freaking killer. Get ready to do the time warp. And it's free.
It's just a jump to the left.
Step to the right.
Mm-hmm. Put your hands on your hips.
Bring your knees in tight.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Those are what's upcoming for the GLCC for events-wise. But they're keeping it more Halloween with the Halloween party. Mm-hmm. There is some issues going on with the Jelly Belly situation. So, again with the novels. Like to munch on those gummy bears or jelly beans or candy corn as you spruce up your Halloween costume?
I don't. I just buy this stuff.
Nonetheless, apparently they're not as good of a, well, they used to be an awesome childhood memory if you like jelly beans.
You don't like jelly beans? Seriously?
No, it's a texture thing.
So no, like gummy bears or anything?
Oh no, I love gummy bears, but jelly beans are a totally different ballgame. Gummy bears, gummy worms, fine. Jelly beans.
Okay, I can understand because I don't like jelly worms or jelly bears. But I can.
They're gummy. They're not jelly.
Whatever they are, they're nasty. I can do jelly beans though, just not gummy bears.
And even he likes olives, so you know the type.
There's nothing wrong with olives.
Anyway, so apparently, they're putting money into. They're funding the dudes who are trying to take away the rights of trans and non-gender conforming expressive students. Rude.
Mm-hmm. And not just like, high school students or college students. We're talking like little ones. How tall are 12-year-olds?
My size.
She's 12.
My size. Yeah, no, my nephew is legit my size. It's awful. But anyway, okay, so I'm actually going to get into the details of that. So there are kids like 12-year-old. There's a kid. His name's Jazz. 12. Wants to play on the girls' soccer team at school. And 6-year-old Coy Mathis, whose family fought back after the school said she was not allowed to use the girls' bathroom, for their courage and that of their families, the 2 trans girls were honored by the GLAAD, or GLAD. I just feel the need to add the A because I don't want to go glad. At the organization's 24th Media Awards Gala in New York City last March. Herman Roland Sr. He is the chair of the Jelly Belly Candy Company. I'm sorry, but I cannot take any type of authority figure of a candy company seriously.
It's like Willy Wonka.
Exactly. All I think of is a man in a silly coat with a hat. That's it. I know that that's not what they wear every day, but I can't help it.
Maybe they do. Do you know him?
I mean, clearly no. We don't exactly run in the same circle, if you get what I'm saying. Like at all.
Anywho.
Nonetheless, I digress. He is a major contributor, this Herman dude, Mr. Rowland, whatever, is a major contributor to the Privacy for All Students initiative campaign led by Proposition 8. Thank you. Bleep. Who is now the political director of the National Organization for Marriage. How nice. Just as he did with the misrepresentations and scare tactics of Prop 8 campaign, this bro, dude, is person, subhuman. No, I'm not going to say that because that's rude and I'm a bigger person. So this individual is trying to collect enough signatures to put an initiative on the 2014 ballot to repeal the historic School Success and Opportunity Act. Rude.
Totally rude.
Yes. I'm sorry, this is just annoying to me. I don't like, we need to do more happy articles because these things.
We do have happy articles.
We do, but I feel like we're always yelling.
Well.
Or having this face.
We've got 2 happy ones after this. I just gave you the sad one. That's how I roll.
Hi, darling.
Continue.
Anyway, moving on. Our challenge is to get on the ballot. This guy, I'm quoting him, I'm sorry. Our challenge is to get on the ballot. If we do, I don't think we'll have a great deal of difficulty winning the campaign. Most people I talk to can't believe they did this, as in California, Democratic, whatever. We don't live there, so. What were they thinking? I'm trying really hard to make this appropriate. To say that we need to open up our school showers and bathrooms just doesn't make sense. 2 cents. Here you go. Who cares? They're little. Nobody cares. They're not worried about what's going on and who else is whatever. They're little. Like, nobody cares. I don't know if anybody's ever been in a girl's bathroom, but there's a door on each individual toilet in there, unless you're at the bar. But in schools, there is a door. So what does it matter? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know any 12-year-old boy who would willingly, who would go into a girl's bathroom just to try to hunt around for things, you know? Just to try to snoop and see what's going on in there.
Well, that was one of their things that they were saying, that if they let this whole thing pass, that guys are going to go in there with a bra on for like a day and say that they're transgendered and then go into the bathroom and try to get their jollies. Which is not
with true. What? People peeing?
I don't know.
Putting on lip gloss?
I don't know. That was their big thing. I don't know.
You know what girls do in the bathroom? Terrible things. I don't know if you've ever been to a girl's bathroom at like the Post Pavilion or the bar.
That's different than like a...
Or at an elementary school. Nobody wants to go in there. That's all I'm saying. Unless, like, I don't know anybody at all who would just want to go into a bathroom to get their jollies, but other than, like, creepy 60-year-old men. Or creepy 60-year-old women.
Either one,
but they're usually creepy and in their 60s.
That's the prerequisite for being a creeper.
Exactly. That's why I'm not at creeper status yet.
But on the opposite side there, one of the proponents of the policy, I don't remember who, Hill says that some transgender students just don't go to the bathroom, they hold it all day long, and there are higher incidences of urinary tract infections. They don't eat breakfast, the most important meal of the day, or even drink water in school to avoid going to the bathroom. Dehydrated, hungry kids aren't learning as well, and they cut school and even leave school, which was not fair.
No, it's not fair at all.
Any ring whatsoever, just because you're afraid to go to the bathroom in front of somebody. You're not even going to the bathroom in front of anybody. You're behind a door. Get over it. So,
yeah.
Schubert openly mocked transgendered individuals in a phone interview, saying about gender identity that we accept these terms as if they have some deep-seated meaning, and they don't. He told the Daily Beast. Wait, what the hell kind of publication is the Daily Beast?
I don't know.
So anyway, he says gender identity is the same thing as racial identity. Maybe you are confused about your gender, maybe you have a psychological disorder, that's fine. But let's not act as if gender identity is not some innate, inborn characteristic of humanity, because it's not. It's a political creation designed to advance an agenda.
What is this agenda that people keep referring to?
I keep missing this memo. I have no idea. Am I supposed to get up and do something different than what I'm doing every day?
What do you do every day?
I usually get up and I make coffee, and then I pet my cat and watch some television and go down to the GLCC. I'm missing something there. I'm unproductive, but I don't have an agenda.
Neither do I. I mean, but...
I really want a copy of this.
Anyway, the agenda, we don't know where it comes from. It's like, I'm sorry, disclosure, if there's any children in the room, please earmuff them. Like the Tooth Fairy has an agenda, like this mysterious agenda that people just, it's like a Hallmark thing, you know? Like the Tooth Fairy or the Easter Bunny, people just make these things up because they want you to believe in something that doesn't exist. Like what kind of agenda? I'm referring to an agenda as the Easter Bunny, but doesn't leave chocolate eggs.
Damn.
At least I don't think it does. I don't know either.
I don't know.
Okay, move on to your happy stuff.
Okay, so Hawaii could be approving gay marriage starting November 18th. Hawaii could begin issuing
That
licenses.
opens up so many wedding opportunities.
I know. Money, people. Okay, so Hawaii could begin issuing licenses and performing ceremonies for gay couples on November 18th if a bill passes during a special session that begins next week. A Senate draft of the bill is to be considered starting Monday, which says couples will be able to obtain licenses and to be married the same day. Now, they're approaching this thing like a whole different thing. It's not necessarily marriage. It's more of an equal rights thing. So they're kind of taking out the wordage there. So
Man and woman thing.
Yeah, it's an equal rights thing. Public campaigning on both sides of the issue has become more outward as the session approaches, and opponents to gay marriage have, of course, made their squawking heard, and they can be seen running out television ads to say that they're just doing this so that non-homosexual couples have to go along with this whole thing, because it's probably the agenda thing again.
Again with the agendas.
Yeah. One recent sign connecting downtown Honolulu with windward Oahu pictured a wolf in sheep's clothing arguing that gay marriage would force people who disagree with same-sex couples marrying to go along with it. But, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't freaking matter to you whatsoever. If Jane and Mary want to get married over here, and Jack and Diane, for a lack of a better...
Why Diane? Why not Jill?
Because it's like that Mellencamp.
I'm judging, whatever.
Anyway, Hawaii's Attorney General David Louie issued a legal opinion last week that rejected arguments that the state's constitution would need to be amended to pass a gay marriage bill. Louie said Hawaii lawmakers unquestionably have the authority to consider gay marriage and to pass a bill. And that's why they're going along with the equal rights as opposed to marriage things. So, that's one of several states that have been seen on the move in regards to gay marriage since the whole Supreme Court ruling a few months ago, including New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, New Mexico, Ohio, and Oregon. So congratulations to Hawaii for going in the right direction.
They're on our gold star list.
Yes, they are on a gold star, as well as New Jersey.
What up, Joyzy?
Yes. What is that? The mayor there, or not mayor, but the
mayor of New
governor,
Jersey.
The mayor of New Jersey. No, the governor finally said, I
Jersey.
can't really argue with this anymore, and he kind of just gave up. So, Jersey, congratulations. Now, who was the only state in the whole Northeast Atlantic region to not approve?
I'll give you a hint. We're sitting in it.
Pennsylvania. Wake the F up, Pennsylvania. Come on.
Now, it's not Pennsylvania as a whole. It's the people that rule Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Well, it's ridiculous and it needs to stop now.
I concur.
Yeah. So, last story before we move on to our very special guest this evening. In Texas, there was a high school down there that elected 2 homecoming queens as a royal couple. How fantastic is that?
That makes me so happy.
I
Oh, look
know.
how cute they are. Shut up.
Right? Aren't they cute? So, an historic first for a town that struggled with, to make its local non-discrimination ordinance LGBT inclusive, a high school in Eagle Pass, Texas, elected 2 female students to the royal court, making it 2 homecoming queens. Eileen Hernandez and Jennifer Mijares are not a couple, but their fellow students at CC Wynn High School voted for them to be crowned the royal couple on Friday. Both girls are staunch allies to the LGBT community and members of CC Wynn's Gay Straight Alliance. The newly crowned queens said that they support and that the support they received was overwhelmingly positive, and that every single negative remark was overshadowed by 10 positive comments. So,
which is important to focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. So that kind of paves the way, and hopefully, this is going to be heard and make a resounding impression upon high schools across Texas and across the United States. The girls ran as a couple for homecoming court with a platform that aimed to raise awareness about LGBT issues and students in the high school on the U.S.-Mexico border. The school's principal, Jesus Diaz-Weaver, lauded that the royal couple and their classmates who voted for them into the top spot. He said that it was important for all persons to be respected and treated with dignity, and that the students at CC Wynn High School certainly understand that all persons are equal. And that is the kind of environment that we should be working towards.
I agree, 100%. Yeah. So go you, high school in Texas.
And congratulations to Eileen and Jennifer. You're doing the right thing.
And you look beautiful in your crowns and your dresses.
Yes.
Great contouring job, by the way.
I guess.
Just thought I'd let them know.
So, anywho, we are going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have a very special guest for you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's kind of a secret, but not really. So I'm just not going to say anything and pretend like it's a secret. So, shh. Okay, we'll see you in a minute. Bye. Back. It's Truth Talks. It's just Lyndsey, not Lain. He left. But thanks for coming back. We do have a super awesome guest for you today. His name is Tony Chaffee, like coffee, but different. And he's currently running for city council for Pittsburgh. 7th District?
7th District, yeah.
7th District. Hi, thanks for coming.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Sure. I have a bit of a biography that I'm going to be super creepy and read it in a not creepy voice, if that's okay.
Good by me.
Okay. So Tony Chaffee, like coffee but different, is a candidate in the upcoming election on November 5th for City Council in Pittsburgh, 7th District, like I said previously. The 7th District includes Bloomfield, Lawrenceville, which is where we are, Friendship, Polish Hill, the Strip District, Highland Park, Morningside, and part of Stanton Heights. So that is I'm not going to read through it again. If you missed it, I'm sorry. Tony is a lifelong Democrat and resident of Lawrenceville and has been an engaged civic leader and community advocate for over the past 10 years, which is awesome. You don't look old enough to be doing that.
Started when I was 18.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, you still don't look old enough to be doing that.
29.
Yeah, okay. Well,
it's a good time if you get involved.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not 18 anymore. I'm so old now.
Never too old to get involved.
Oh, never too old to be involved. No, I'm slowly working my way into being involved via this.
What neighborhood do you live in?
Southside.
Southside? Mm-hmm. Councilman Krause, I'm sure, can get you very involved in some things.
Oh, I'm very sure. I live in the college portion of the South Side. So whoever puked on my doorstep this week, I'm upset. But I'm moving on. He attended Central Catholic High School and studied psychology at Duquesne University. Very nice school. Beautiful campus.
It is.
Until stepping down this past June in order to run for office. Tony served as the vice president of Lawrenceville United and also was one of the youngest Democratic Committee ward chairs in the county. Good for you, bro.
Right. I'm
I mean, hey, go big or go home, right? He believes in open and transparent government, grassroots leadership from the bottom up, and giving residents a voice in matters pertaining to their neighborhoods. He looks forward to earning your support over the next 2 weeks. I have a couple questions for you, though, because this was not detailed enough for me. I'm an incredibly detail-oriented person. You can ask anybody.
All right.
Okay. First things first. Well, it's more of a statement. Has anybody talked to you about parking yet?
Oh, it's a regular thing in Pittsburgh,
Okay.
specifically here in this district because Lawrenceville and Bloomfield are business districts, so are really starting to transform, and it's taking a lot to really build consensus between the business district and the residential district to make sure that profitability isn't offsetting the quality of life of our neighbors.
Oh, yes. That is very true. That's a touchy subject for everybody, especially between business owners and residents.
And we actually have one of the first and one of the largest parking zones here for enforcement with the Pittsburgh Parking Authority. So there's actually several meetings going on right now to try and break it apart so it's more manageable for the enforcement officers as opposed to having a majority of Lawrenceville and a majority of Bloomfield all within one huge district.
Yes, because I'm here very regularly at parking. But anyway, I actually have other questions. That was just me being nebby. So Tony, if you could please tell us a little bit about this year's special election for City Council and how it's going to work.
So this is actually a very special election. Our councilman was elected in 2011 to a 4-year term. Back in June, he announced, am I looking at you or am I looking at the TV?
You can look at either,
All right,
that's fine.
Sounds good. So back
Look at the TV, because
Okay.
look at how special.
So, right.
Your name's
so,
right there.
Okay. So in June, Councilman Dowd announced that he would be resigning from office to head a nonprofit called Alliance for Children. The councilman always had a strong passion for youth. His professional background was in education prior to that, so I wouldn't fault him for that. I think it's a great opportunity for him and for the children here in the city of Pittsburgh.
I agree.
However, that leaves us without council representation. At the time that he resigned, it was too late for us to handle that process in a primary, and in order to save the taxpayers' money, the city had decided to tie it into our November general election. So it's a special election on the November ballot along with the mayoral race or judicial races and the police residency requirement referendum.
Okay.
So a lot of important races here on November 5th.
Yes, it appears to be
It
so.
is.
Yes, and not enough people vote for sure, especially in the smaller elections. Like, I mean, not the national ones, you know.
Right.
Not enough people vote, so
You got to come out and vote.
do it. I vote. I have to change my registration though because I'm still registered for outside of the city. Anyway, thank you.
No problem.
What has compelled you to run for city council, and what kind of experience do you have for this kind of position?
So I actually ran for this seat 2 years ago against Councilman Dowd, who recently resigned. Not because I thought he was doing a poor job as our council member, but I think with city council you need somebody that's committed to the long term.
Of course.
Dr. Dowd was on the school board, then he was a city council member, then he ran for mayor. And there were some other professional, I think, aspirations there as well. And I made the decision to run 2 years ago against him to make sure that we had somebody that was committed long-term, was going to follow through on initiatives and programs in our neighborhoods and really foster strong relationships out in our communities.
Of course.
All the greatest aspects of a council representative.
Yes.
As you saw in my bio, I've been very active with our local resident-driven organizations, Lawrenceville United, Lawrenceville Development, Lawrenceville Corporation, I apologize, as well as some of the other neighborhood groups throughout the city, our youth groups in Morningside, Stanton Heights Community Associations, really focusing on quality of life, public safety, responsible management of our business districts. So like we talked about, ensuring profitability doesn't offset the quality of life in our neighborhoods so that places like Lawrenceville, Bloomfield, Morningside don't see a lot of the issues that Southside is really trying to maintain right now.
Yes.
So taking a more proactive approach to managing these issues.
Yes.
When you're talking about city council, I think you need somebody that understands your community from the ground up.
Yes.
And unless you're, willing to actually roll up your sleeves, get out in the neighborhood and help with the heavy lifting to make good communities, you really aren't going to have the information available to be an effective council representative.
Exactly. Just complaining about something doesn't change anything.
Right. You have to really be able to be willing to go out and affect change. And, I've had that track record. I have that history in our community of really working to make our neighborhoods better places to live. And I think that those are the attributes that you need most in a council representative. So that was my final decision maker when Councilman Dowd resigned.
Good. I think that those are all very good reasons and very good qualities, to be completely honest.
Thank you.
Because there's a lot of people who want to try to fix things from the inside, but they don't actually want to go out and try to do anything.
Right. Or reach down into the communities, and that's not the way to get things done.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, if anybody who's running for Southside would like to come and clean up the puke off my sidewalk, you could start there. So do you support legislation in favor of domestic partnership or same-sex benefits?
I do, and I think that it's, you know, it's great now that the city is finally catching up to the times. So same-sex benefits, domestic partnership benefits for our city employees. Councilman Kraus has also recently, it's like Kraus Day.
Yeah.
Councilman Kraus has also recently put forth legislation that would require contractors doing specific monetary amounts of business with the city to provide domestic partnership benefits for their employees as well, which I think is a wonderful step in the right direction.
I
and I'd
agree.
like to see that trend continue here in the city of Pittsburgh.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Now, as a member of council, what other legislation or initiatives might you propose to improve social and working conditions for members of the LGBTQ community?
So, and I just found out about the Q. The Q I wasn't aware
Yes,
of.
there's actually like the rest of the alphabet in there as well.
That's so I, as a council member, it's not that you can affect much of a difference at the council level, but SB 300 is, I have full support of SB 300. I think that it's a great opportunity to really work to eliminate a lot of the issues that we see right now in the workplace and in housing. Professionally, for the past several years, I worked at the City Housing Authority.
Oh, okay.
So I understand how those issues can come into play and really understand the need for sensitivity training to make sure that we really work to eradicate, you know, the discrimination issues when we're talking about employment, with housing, and with general day-to-day life out in our community.
Yes, that's true. And some letters have a little bit harder than others.
Right. And what I would really like to see happen is increased awareness focusing on public safety. Until a neighborhood's considered safe, you know, it really stalls all other progress. You've seen it here specifically in Lawrenceville. If you're familiar, we've had a great transformation over the past 10 years. I'm proud to have been an engaged community partner with those things, but it started with a strong focus on public safety, because until a neighborhood is perceived safe, those other things don't fall into place. You don't have the investment from businesses and homeowners. You don't have that sense of community. You don't have the participation from people outside of your neighborhood and outside of even the city. We have people from throughout the entire county coming to visit our shops and our restaurants on a daily basis. I live on 38th Street, so I have the Cantina, I have Frank Shuari, I have Piccolo Forno, and all those great
Frank
places.
Shuari is really good.
It is, and Tim is amazing. He's been a great community partner since he came in. He was actually one of the first groups that did a conditional licensing agreement with us. So really an agreement between the community and the business owner that gets attached to the liquor license, which I'd like to see more in Southside. Any violations of that agreement between the community group or the residents and the business can adversely affect their ability to operate. But back to the question. So we were talking about public safety, and I'm sure you're very well aware of the incident that happened in Lawrenceville a few weeks ago outside of the Blue Moon. And you know, I've talked to a lot of our residents. I attended the rally that evening. I'm very proud of my neighbors and my businesses and the business owners in our neighborhoods that came out really to support those young men for what they had to deal with.
There was a lot of people that came out.
And it was wonderful, and it was people were passionate and people were engaged, and we need to see more of that in our neighborhoods.
That we do.
Part of my plan, though, is strategic public safety plans for each specific neighborhood, because each neighborhood is very diverse and different.
Yes.
And really making sure that we create added awareness as well as training our officers on response to hate crime violence. So we need to make sure that there's training available for our officers so they know how to adequately deal with those issues. And really facilitate conversations on better ways to try and avoid these issues going forward. So if we need added police presence at a certain time of day, or if we need to work with our community groups to maybe build awareness classes for the residents so that we really kind of build consensus throughout the neighborhood. When we took the job on of really tackling public safety in Lawrenceville, it was so that everybody could feel safe. Everybody that lived, worked, and
not
played
just one
in
particular
our
group.
community, could walk around our neighborhood, know they were safe, and feel like they were at home. And those are the same missions that
Which you really do get that in Lawrence. I mean, I'll say, like, especially down on Butler, I mean, disregarding recent events, I do feel like it's very, like, homey. And
it is. And that's something that we're very proud of, because it's taken a long time to come back from where we were 10 or 15 years ago.
Yes, it's come a long way.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, really, Lawrenceville it's definitely, and it's still coming up, and it's definitely a hot place, especially in the younger generations. Nobody wants to go to Southside or the Strip District anymore. Well, at nighttime.
And it's a more mature, maintainable area.
Yes, there's not all the riffraff. Not all the riffraff.
And that's something that I'm very proud of, my work with the community groups to help that happen. And that's another benefit that our neighborhoods throughout District 7 will see by electing me, because these are the skills that I plan on taking to all of our neighborhoods.
Because you've been hands-on this whole time.
Right, exactly. And sensitivity training for all of our city professionals, not just public safety, but for all of the different departments.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Now, what makes you a better candidate than the other for seeking the council seat?
Well, we've had 4 debates over the last about month and a half.
Now, are those available
Look into
anywhere for
my
people
buddy
that
Craig.
missed them?
I have the recordings from the first 2, one in Highland Park and one in Lawrenceville, that I would be happy to make available if anybody would like.
I didn't know if they were on YouTube or anything.
Those 2 are not. There was a debate sponsored by the Bloomfield Citizens Council, which is available on YouTube. It is also available on my Facebook page, Neighbors for Tony Chaffee. A lot of interesting, great information on there. And there was also one in Highland Park last week. That one hasn't been made public, as far as I know.
Okay.
And all the other 4 candidates are very great people, and I think they all have a nice passion for our neighborhood and want to see our neighborhood succeed. But like I said, I firmly believe that you have to have your thumb on the pulse of the community to effectively represent it. And of the 5 of us, I'm the only one with a track record of working with our residents, working with the community groups, and truly doing the heavy lifting to make our neighborhoods a good place to live.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Is there anything else you would like our viewers, listeners to know?
Anything specific? Lifelong resident of Lawrenceville. I was born and raised here.
What's your sign?
I am a Gemini, June 20th. See, I got that one. I think for a second.
Okay, good.
But yeah, born and raised in Lawrenceville. My wife, Becky, and I got engaged about 6 years ago. My parents were ecstatic. They thought they were finally getting rid of me. We moved into a house 5 doors down the street.
Oh, good.
And continue to drive my parents nuts on a daily basis, but we have a little girl now, Gabriella. She's 3.5, so my dad enjoys it that she's that close.
Oh, yay.
We'll watch her walk up the street. He can send her home when she starts to get too girlish for him. And I'm excited about the opportunity to represent all of our neighborhoods, and I appreciate you guys having me here today.
Of course.
Vote for me on November 5th. We need true independent leadership. How?
How is a good question.
It is a very good question, especially in this race. So like I said, this is a special election. And when I said it was very special, it was because the nominees for each specific party were not chosen by the majority of registered voters for that party. So typically you have a primary, the majority of Democrats choose their Democratic nominee. Republicans, if there is one, it's Pittsburgh, let's be honest, choose their Republican nominee. And there's my Facebook page.
Oh, look how cute.
She is. She looks like her mother and acts just like me. So we're in for it over the next few years.
Oh boy, she is adorable.
Thank you. And we also have a Get Out the Vote rally tomorrow night at the Teamsters from 7 to 11. Free food, free drinks, free music. They just set up the dance floor for us tonight. So stop by if anybody would like to. Have a good time.
Yeah.
It's just a nice night. It's a community rally. Nice chance to get all of our neighbors out from the district, different neighborhoods throughout the district that you may not get to hang out with. But back to the voting. Like I had said, typically through a primary, the majority chooses their nominee. With a special election, the Democratic Committee, which I'm sure you've heard of, chooses the nominee. So in this case, 88 members of the Democratic Committee decided who our nominee would be. Anybody else was just kind of out of luck unless they chose to run as an independent. After speaking with the Democratic nominee, who only won by 2 votes, after several people were appointed last minute, she actually voted herself when she was a legitimate committee member. There was a lot of irregularities, and after further conversation with the nominee, I decided to change my party affiliation and run without any specific party backing. So I am an independent in this race, so on election day, when you get to the polls, if you live in the District 7 neighborhoods, on the main screen, you'll see Democrat, Republican, Chaffee for council. If you select Chaffee for council, that guarantees me a vote. You also have the option to go screen by screen individually and choose each candidate as you like. This is a new day in Pittsburgh, and I don't think that people vote for you just because you have that D next to your name. But if you do, and you click that D as soon as you get on the first screen, I will not get your vote. As I said before, I'd be honored to have your vote. I look forward to representing our neighborhoods, and make sure when you vote on November 5th, either you vote separately on each screen, or you go with the easiest shot of hitting Chaffee for council and moving on for the day.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Tony.
you. I appreciate you having me.
I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Feel free to stop back.
Hey, I'm right down the street. So.
Yeah, that's true. You are right down the street. Okay, well, this is Truth Talks. I'm Lyndsey. Lain is, I don't know where he is, somewhere else. Okay, well, thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for being here.
Otherwise, no problem.
And have a good night. We'll see you next week. But I do want to say thank you to Justin.tv, Roku viewers, MondoClub.com, Samsung, a zillion other people, LG as well. Like LG, not, never mind. I was thinking of something totally different that nobody else knows of. LG, like the technology thing. So, thanks everybody. You can tweet me on Twitter at GLTV, Facebook, facebook.com/GayLifeTV. And yeah, I'm not going to give you the phone number because we're getting off right now, so you're not going to talk to anybody.
We're going off air, you mean? We're getting off.